Bitcoin hits 100K. Freedom money. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, November the 24th. And, well, here we are. Bitcoin charging higher as we thought it would. I think it's probably a little bit overbought here, but it is being called the freedom money. You are now starting to see more access to it through ETFs, through other parts of the market. And of course, President Trump, in a big step, is all for Bitcoin. And again, I think it's correct. I think it takes away the Fed. I think, again, I don't like that a central bank has the choice of telling me how much I have to pay, and of course, interest rate, defining the interest rates, when in fact markets and asset classes will price themselves. So I'd like to get away from what we'll call the money racketeers, okay, which is really just another term for the thieves that are stealing your money through the federal government, through the Federal Reserve, because again, the continuation of having a non-backed security or fiat currency system, which we have globally, is all bullshit, okay? It is a way of creating more dollars, adding to the money supply, without a true market, a true free market determining it. So again, I think that, again, it may not be exactly Bitcoin, but I mean, we know within that space, there's a lot of criminal element, a lot of thieves, but the actual crypto itself, the theory, is terrific, okay, in my opinion. And again, I am not for central banking. I am against central banking because we don't get a fair audit. We don't get a fair and square deal with what they're doing with our money. They have single-handedly destroyed and created all this inflation over the years that we've watched. In the meantime, Jaguar puts his pronoun wielding, this pronoun commercial out. I don't know if anybody ever learns. I don't understand it. I mean, again, you want to be transgender? God bless you. I don't give a shit what you are. Okay, but I don't need advertising telling me that, and have to advertise to less than a 0.5% of the population. Okay, and I think that Jaguar is going to find out that it made another mistake very similar to Bud Light, which is trying to rebuild its image right now. I think we've seen that, you know, again, like anything else in this country, okay, you know, there's criminal element to it. And the trans movement, I have nothing to care. I have no worries about someone who's naturally trans. Doesn't bother me. What does bother me is that those who want to take advantage of it, men playing in women's sports, men going into women's bathrooms for another purpose, but they're not. They really don't identify that way. That's my problem, and that's my problem with the advertising to it. It's been shown over the last week that the FBI has manipulated a lot of the death certificates that are telling us that their reports are bogus. Believe it or not, again, that's up to you. I can't tell you that I don't know that for a fact. I only get that from reading. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be no different than what we saw during COVID, that a guy in a motorcycle accident was given COVID death. Remember, everything in this country is about money and about how they get it, how they tax it, how you make it. Again, think about it. As you know, you've heard me say this before. Life comes down to two things. One is always money. Okay, but Texas gold-backed coins aim to help adoption of Bitcoin. Again, I think you're going to see, with Elon Musk involved and with Vivek Ramaswamy involved and Donald Trump involved, I think you're going to see a lot more opportunity to see a true free market work. Now, again, could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. And I will be the first one right here screaming that I was wrong and that it's all bullshit what we're getting. But so far, what I see has been good. And so far, I'm a fan, and I do think that it should be in the mainstream. I don't own as much as I'd like to own, but I do think it's a great idea and I think it's great to go back to a potential gold backing of things. Again, I think that these Federal Reserve notes instead of silver certificates that we get, I think are bullshit. You're paying for error. And of course, they can devalue what you have right in front of you. University of Michigan inflation expectations jumped to 16-year high. Okay. because of course, what has been done by the current administration. Okay, again, all that the Biden administration has done is created grief, violence, and high inflation. Okay, to fuck the American people out of their last cent. And if you don't think that recession is not boiling up from the bottom, I mean, the recession is reaching the top of the middle class right now, and soon to reach everybody else. Again, we're getting this election bump. Okay, but as I said before the election, I thought if Harris had won, the markets would just sell off. If Trump won, we'd see a bump, which we're seeing, and I don't know how. The only thing I can't say, you could never time it, but certainly, other than Black Christmas of 2018, you don't get too many down fourth quarters. So we'll see how it does play out, but money market fund assets tumble most in 5 months after Trump wins. Loan volume surges. So people are borrowing more money. Now, they haven't gotten a break from the Federal Reserve. Okay? Again, well, actually, they haven't gotten a break from the banks. I don't want to blame the Federal Reserve for this, but the lending rate, the Fed continues to lower the lending rate that they're lending money to the banks. And the banks don't have to pass on that savings. So everybody gets so excited about a rate cut, which does not benefit you necessarily. In fact, mortgage rates are higher. And on September 18th, the 10-year notes are 3.4%. And on November 24th, they're 4.5%. That is a huge move in interest rates at the retail end. So once again, you got fucked in the drive-through by the Federal Reserve. Scott Bessent nominated as Treasury Secretary. Seems like a sharp guy. Again, I don't have an idea. I can just say seems like a sharp guy. I'm happy with Pamela Bondi. I'm happy with some of his other choices. And of course, I am not happy with the U.S. national debt now hitting $36 trillion. Now, we're going to see what this Dodge team does, the DOGE, of cutting, we had a guarantee, or supposed guarantee, that they would cut $2 trillion right away. It can be done. Okay, it definitely can be done. There is no question that there is a lot of waste in government. Okay, so we'll see. Let's hope that they do what they say they're going to do. I think you're seeing something interesting now. A flood of Chinese goods goes into Mexico, gets relabeled as made in Mexico. This is the backdoor entry into the United States, and I think that this is going to be interesting as we go forward, because again, I think that this is not good. Okay, and I think I think Abbott from Texas has it right, saying that we need to divest from China. Again, listen, I'm all for being an island. Okay, again, let's be clear. Okay, I am not for helping China or being involved with China or Russia or anybody else. Okay, I am all for being an island because the United States has enough resources. We could live without the help of anybody else. And I'm not looking forward to globalism. I am not looking forward to everything else. And I think that all we've seen from the past administration, and not just the Biden-Harris administration, not just the Obama administration, not just the Bush administration, but going back a long time, we continue to give up and hurt our own people by letting China get bigger and more powerful, and I am not a fan of that, okay? I am a fan of taking care of this country, and if you would do the right thing, there's a lot of things economically we could have done all along that didn't destroy and hike inflation so high, allow people to make a reasonable wage, and instead of becoming a service country, continue to be an industrial country, as well as a service country, as well as the designer of all the fancy technology. But of course, that would be too simple. That is one of the reasons that illegal immigration has been so big, because there's people that don't want to do those jobs. So why? We have plenty of people that aren't working. Let them do those jobs and end the welfare system. And everybody's worried about what's going to happen with Medicaid and Social Security. Listen, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme on its own. Okay, it needs to be adjusted. It needs to be changed. If it were me, I would change it and say, okay, the new retirement age is 80, but anybody's already in the system. So if you're 21 and over, then you're already in the system at 65. But at some point, you have to change the Ponzi scheme. Otherwise, there's not going to be enough money. So there's a lot of issues going on, but there's also a lot of excitement. and a lot of hope coming on. Okay, and we'll get more of this in our commentary, but there is a lot of hope, and hopefully we will see this country go back to being great again, and we will stop with all the bullshit and all the crap that we're taking from the rest of the world, and hopefully we can get rid of a lot of these criminal politicians that continue to steal and pocket our money, as you're seeing done through the people that lost that can still spend their campaign funds. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 24th. We're going to step out here for a break. We'll be right back with our market report after the break. What's up, kids? I hope you're having a great weekend. Of course, we got Thanksgiving week coming up, so the market should be relatively slow. But of course, I did want to talk to you about our sponsors, and of course, you know our brand new gold sponsor. Those of you who have seen me on with Daniela Cambone, we've got a gold and silver physical dealer now that is sponsoring the show, and that is ITM Trading. And sir, you want to check them out, learn.itmtrading.com/Bubba. And that's on the sides, as you can take a look at it. Check them out. They got a great value. I've been buying them from them for years myself, so check it out. And of course, I have a couple of brokerage partners, which again, I have many brokers, just to give you full disclosure. But the two I prefer for commodities and futures, Capital Trading Group, great customer service, the best, and they are partnerships on a lot of products with us. And of course, TRADIER Brokerage, $10 a month. How can I beat it? Saves me over $100,000 a year in commission. Check them out. Again, they're scrolling down, and on the bottom, what you'll see, our high school program. Again, we're still trying to help build this country back up and help with some financial literacy. So check out our high school program as well. And if you want to help us out, that would be great. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and of course, our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 24th. And of course, markets continue to go higher. Not as a total surprise. I think that it does appear that there is some topping action. As I said earlier, I expected to see, if a Trump win, I would expected to see a pretty sharp rally. But we've seen a pretty good rally. Okay. So now what happens? Well, I don't know. I mean, I would think that, again, it is the fourth quarter. It is Thanksgiving week. We are basically down, although there's 8 weeks or 7 weeks left in the year. I think we're down to 3 to 3.5 trading weeks in the year because, of course, the Christmas and New Year's, after the December expiration, there's nothing, and this week's going to be nothing. So we'll see. Again, we don't predict. We just talk about what, and of course, as you know, our positions, and we disclose what our positions are. And as we take a look in the four major indices, we are short the Dow, we are short the Russell, we are flat the NASDAQ, and flat the S&P. But those will be soon to be shorted at some point here. In the dollar, which we don't trade anymore, but the dollar continues higher. And of course, that is giving more strength to what the U.S. And of course, that is more of a vote of confidence into President Trump. But the dollar continues higher. And the only reason we don't trade it is because it is too expensive to trade, because you have to go through some of the exchanges in New York, which want to rip you off. In the meantime, euro currency is lower. We are long. Gold had a nice big week. It recovered, which we expected. We expected 2,600, which we told you here. And now we're on our way back up, I think, probably to new highs. And what you've noticed, if you've been paying attention, is that normally commodities and gold, hard assets, usually go down with a strong dollar. Well, not only is the dollar going higher, so are the gold and silver and platinum. Okay, now we don't trade platinum anymore, but we're long gold, we're flat silver, okay, and we don't trade platinum. Bitcoin, of course, as I said, hit 100,000. It closed the week at 99,485, but of course, it's trading live right now. In the grain markets, we're still short corn, flat soybeans, flat wheat, and of course, in the meats, I'm still short cattle. I still don't believe we can go much higher. And I'm still looking for a place to buy into hogs, but I'd like to be long. The softs are interesting, but I think that's a clue to watch for. The soft commodities continue to go higher, which is kind of, we'll call that the inflation trade. And make no mistake, inflation is going higher, okay? And the 3.1 or whatever bullshit number the government gives you is just that, bullshit, okay? And of course, crude oil, big spike up and back in the 70s. I think it's just going to turn around here, but I do expect, seriously, I would expect probably by next March, crude could be cut in half from where it is now. There's nothing to do with it now. I mean, I'm not going to predict that. But if Trump is going to do what he did in his previous administration, we should see a big fall in oil. On natural gas, we have no position. We're going to go short it either tonight or tomorrow, depending on when you trade it and when you get your information. But we are going to short natural gas, okay? And at the end of the day, okay, markets are still going higher, so we're not going to fight that tape. I mean, again, we're trading off of an algorithm, and of course, that's what we're directed on. We're probably net short throughout all of our different positions, expecting that there'll be at worst some retracing back to the mean because we are a little bit ahead of schedule. In the meantime, just be careful. And again, this week it figures to be very slow, so I wouldn't be looking to get too over involved in this week. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, November the 24th. We're going to step out of here for our break, come back with our commentary, and of course our football picks right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel for you. I'll just remind you, ITM Trading, which is our new gold and silver physical sponsor, Capital Trading Group, TRADIER Brokerage, and of course our high school program, all scrolling on the sides. You can check out their websites. I urge you to do so, not for me, just for yourself, because I think you'll find you'll be very happy. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my commentary and my football picks. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, November the 24th. And, of course, you know I give you commentary every week. And as I look at the situations and I hear all the bullshit and the crying about Trump's cabinet, they're not president, they're not political, they're not this. You know, I've been living in this country. I've been voting for over 40 years, almost 50 years I've been voting. And I don't know what political or presidential or whatever it is. All I know is what I've watched for the last 50 years has not really worked that well, okay? And I don't think picking from the same shit stock is going to make things better, okay? I think you have to go outside and expand your ideas, which is, if you remember, I was a big fan of Vivek Ramaswamy to be president, okay? I'm glad that he's going to be involved. I love Pamela Bondi. I think she's going to be great. I think there's a lot of changes that need to be made, but I think what we have been doing over the time is nothing. And I think, unfortunately, the cabal and the deep state is not done going after President Trump. And I would not be surprised if they try to go after him in court again before inauguration. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to impeach him again after he gets... Again, this is the trouble and the sadness I have in this country, okay, is that they don't let it go, okay? And again, this is a far left agenda, okay, which is personally meant to destroy capitalism, okay? You can talk any story you want. The Democratic Party that we know today, this is not what the Democratic Party used to be. The one that's in office now and the people that are involved now want to destroy capitalism. If you want to destroy capitalism, hey, what can I tell you? You're an idiot, okay? Because capitalism is the only way that keeps markets fair, keeps prices fair, keeps competition within the system when you're out buying at the grocery store. It is capitalism that makes it work. So let President Trump do his thing. If he does a shitty job, then you'll vote him out, which he doesn't have a second term anyways. But if you don't like what he's doing, then you can complain then. But I think he did a good job in his last administration, and I have no reason to believe he won't do a good job, because I do believe that he is definitely for the American people. That I do believe, no matter what you think of him other than that. I believe that he does care and wants to help the American people. So as you gave the imbecile before a shot, maybe you should give Donald Trump a shot. That's the way I see it. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, November the 24th. And of course, we got football. And of course, our football picks for the week are, I can't believe it's the Chicago Bears plus 3.5, Seattle Seahawks at a pick, and the Philadelphia Eagles -3. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. And, of course, next Sunday with Bubba's Bottom Line. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you later.